Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this is important, this framework is important for understanding consumer motivations. So, by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify and describe the five levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, analyze how different needs motivate consumer purchases, evaluate marketing campaigns based on the needs levels that they target, and apply what we learned with some examples that I have for you here for this lesson. Excellent. So, why do we spend $10,000 on a watch? That's a good question, right? Why would someone spend $10,000 on a Rolex when a $20 watch will tell you time just as well? So turn to your partner and share your first thought. You have 10 seconds. Excellent. So you have touched on something psychologist Abraham Maslow discovered in 1943, that humans don't just buy things, they buy solution to different levels of needs. Some of the words I heard you saying are prestige, involvement, status, exclusivity, craftsmanship, and sentiment. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs, what we are exploring today is a framework that explains why consumers make the purchasing decisions that they do. And why does this matter to you? Well, as future marketers, understanding this hierarchy helps you predict what motivates your target audience, create campaigns that resonate emotionally with that audience, and position those products to meet the right audiences at the right time. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll climb through Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the five levels of human needs, from basic survival to personal fulfillment, and then see how each level drives different purchasing behaviors. So here's Maslow's famous pyramid. On the bottom, you have the physiological needs. Once those are fulfilled, the safety needs come to mind. Once those are fulfilled, then we go into love and belonging, then to self esteem, and finally to self actualization. So let's begin from the bottom of the pyramid, right? The physiological needs. We're looking at basic survival requirements here, like food, water, shelter, sleep, right? So one real example for you here is McDonald's, for instance, right? They offer fast and affordable food that satisfies hunger quickly at convenient locations, and they have value menu options. So the message here is that you're hungry, we've got you covered, right? So what other brands come to mind that focus primarily on meeting these basic survival needs? Exactly. Grocery stores, water brands like Dasani, some basic clothing retailers. So when people struggle to fulfill these basic needs, they can't prioritize anything else, right? So these physiological needs need to be fulfilled before we move to the next one. Fulfilling safety needs, security, stability, protection from physical and emotional harm. One example I have for you is the brand Volvo, right? Their tagline is safety first since 1927. It emphasizes all the high ratings that they have on their crash testings. It highlights safety features and it targets families and cautious drivers. The message here is protect what matters most to you, your family, right? So think here now for a second, if you were a marketer marketing home insurance, which level would you be targeting? Would you be targeting physiological safety needs? Safety needs, exactly, right? You would emphasize protection, security, all the what if scenarios that would drive someone to buy home insurance. So, moving up, humans crave connection, right? So, love and belonging is the next need that is fulfilled once safety needs are fulfilled. So you think of social connections, relationships, acceptance, community. A great example I have for you is Coca Cola's Share a Coke campaign. So they had personalized bottles with names that encourage sharing with friends and family, right? And that motivated some social media integration with the hashtag share coke, that where people shared moments of connection right, on social media. The message was simple, right? Bring people together and strengthen these relationships. So I'm going to ask you a question here, right? Since we talked about social media, why do you think social media platforms like Instagram, for instance, are so successful? Exactly. They tap into our need for connection and belonging, right? So once we feel connected, we seek now recognition. We want to be recognized, right? So we want to fulfill our esteem needs, status, achievement, respect, recognition from others. An example I have for you is the Apple brand, right? They offer premium pricing that signals status, sleek design as a status symbol, the association with innovation, creativity, exclusive product launches. People wait overnight for those product launches, right? And in line outside in the element. And the message is that you're sophisticated, you're successful, and you're ahead of the curve. So let's go back to the beginning of this presentation today and think about that $10,000 Rolex from our opening. What was the reason for buying that Rolex? Exactly, pure self esteem. It's a visible symbol of success and achievement. And at the very top of our pyramid is self actualization, right? It's achieving your full potential, personal growth, and making a difference. So, my example for you is Nike's Just Do It and Find Your Greatest campaigns. They're not selling shoes. If you pay attention to those ads, they are selling transformation. It inspires you to push your limits, right? To celebrate your individual journeys, empowers self improvement. So, the message here is to become the best version of yourself, to unlock your potential. Another example I have is Masterclass. You've heard of those, right? So, they are not selling videos, they're selling the opportunity to learn from the best, to unlock your creative potential, to achieve your full potential. So here's a critical insight. In order for you to move to the next level, the lower needs must be satisfied, right? And to motivate a behavior. So if your target audience is struggling financially, for the physiological and safety needs, they don't respond to luxury brand advertisements that are, fulfilling self-esteem. But if they are financially secure, appealing to status and self-improvement becomes more powerful. So the same product can actually satisfy different needs for different people. Here's an example. A car can be basic transportation, fulfilling physiological needs. It could be a safe family vehicle, fulfilling the safety needs. A minivan for soccer practice, fulfill the need of belonging. A BMW, on the other hand, fulfills the self esteem status need, right? And a Tesla is actually aligned with environmental values. So it's fulfilling your self actualization. Cool, huh? So let's apply this. Now, I'm going to show you three advertisements, and with your partner, identify which level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs each ad will target. Consider what level it targets, what words or images will reveal this, and who's the target audience. So here's the first ad. It's for an insurance company, right? It shows a family at home under a protective umbrella. The tagline is protect what matters most. So we are fulfilling safety level needs and we are targeting families. Exactly. The ad number two is for a luxury perfume. It shows an elegant woman in an exclusive setting. The tagline is for those who know the difference, and we are fulfilling self esteem, right? Targeting high income women. The third one is a family restaurant. It shows multi-generational family laughing together, having a good time. The tagline is where memories are made, and we're fulfilling the social needs, right? Love and belonging, and we are targeting families. Excellent. So there are three takeaways for today's lesson here. One is that Maslow's hierarchy of needs has five levels: physiological, safety, belonging, esteem, and self actualization. You need to fulfill lower needs before higher needs can motivate purchases, right? So you can only move to the next level once one level is fulfilled. And the take home message today is that as marketers, your job is not to sell products, right? It's to understand which human need you are fulfilling. If you get this right, your campaigns will resonate deeply with your target audience. So, do we have any questions? Did I do a good job? Thank you.